and cheap wine. We gather around the mic, just killing time. Tales of glory days, now long behind. A podcast of dads who lost their minds. We reminisce on the good old days when we had hair and our bodies didn't ache. Now we're just middle-aged guys with thirst for fame, telling stories and jokes.
So before we begin, we just wanted to make the announcement that the Time Pals have joined the Mayday Media network of podcasts. And as far as we can tell, we will be their geekiest show on their schedule. We wanted to thank the Mayday Media team for allowing us to fill that void that our wives and children cannot possibly do. So this week, the rainy season has finally forced us to switch from cargo shorts and tank tops to sweatpants and tank tops. We are dads. Leaving our grills and our smokers to hibernate for the winter. I know for me, this meant lots of door dashing and lots of pairing cheap whiskey with expensive chicken nuggets. So the underscore household now had many McDonald's Happy Meal toys for all of my kids. I don't know if you guys have been buying it, but they're all Super Mario based ones right now.
Yep, Mario Kart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been amazing. My kids are stoked. They're actually now they've kind of caught the same bug that I caught, where McDonald's wisely has two variants. It's like a gold thing and like a pink one they're calling also gold.
Well, it's rose gold. It's
Right?
rose gold.
It's pink. It's pink. And they're losing their minds over it. So obviously just fucking McDonald's every other week. We almost never do that. It's almost been fated that tonight we talk about our favorite Happy Meal toys. Probably some of the worst ones we've had, the best ones we've had. And we take a stand against the corporations that our previous generations never did. So yeah, McDonald's is a corporation that we hate, right, guys?
Of course.
No.
I mean, sort of. I will say I hate McDonald's because they've raised the price of the fucking hash browns to like $2.99 for a hash brown.
Oh,
like all of that stuff. I mean, I know it's a post-pandemic world and prices on things went up, but it's insane.
I just spit into my microphone.
Absolutely insane, the prices for all of that stuff, because now it's fast food prices are on par with a half decent sit down restaurant. I don't get it. I know they'd have the apps to try and give deals on there, but all the deals are relatively garbage. McDonald's had the best one for a while, which was 20 nuggets and 2 medium fries for $6. And I was like, oh my God, I can afford, I know, right? It's like I can afford McDonald's again. And I'd get that for the kids all the time. Not all the time. I live with them once a week. I don't want them to be, fat and diabetic at 39 like me.
Many of us.
Yeah. But then they took that away, and I was like, you bastards are dead to me.
The only reason why I even said it out loud, because it was our chance to finally be like, look, all the other previous generations of dads before us, our fathers or grandfathers or whatnot, we're not going to be them. We're not going to be into big corporate or anything like that. And then, by the way, John, big ups to your associates at Legendary Supplements. Use time to check out.
Dude, I needed them today. I had a cup of coffee and I had one of the KRAKEN Intense Focus shots, so that's 200 that's 200 milligrams of caffeine in me right now within the last 15 minutes.
Honestly, brother, we have to redo your commercial because it was based off when you tried one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, now oh my God, I cannot wait for that grape one to release. I got a sample one of the grape flavor. It's like
someday we're gonna just record a promo for every single flavor. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll just have, this is John Powell of the Time Pals bringing you, I don't know, spit in your mouth like strawberry. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Dude, I threw out, what was it? What did I throw out there for? I think it was, I did something like asshole puckering grape or something for it. And they're like, well, we're not going to use that, but
you're associated with it. You can't throw out an actual suggestion.
Well, no. It was in a meeting with the guy who owns the company.
Oh Jesus Christ!
We all hop on with him every now. He's a cool dude. And he's just like, hey, do you guys have any ideas for names? I'm going through some, but I'm wondering if anyone else has one that isn't as generic or something. I'm like, well, if you want something not generic, boy, have you come to the right place. And then I proceeded to rattle off several that were non-repeatable. And
oh my God.
Which I think we would, but here, let me, because I'm on camera, even though we're not, let's switch and I'll throw my Legendary Subs hat on and shield them further just among you guys.
Wow. Impressive.
There we go. Full send. Full send
very
on
nice.
Should also do like a YouTube video of like all the flavors. We're gonna drink all the flavors all at once.
No, he just changes hats and drinks the same one.
You'll be the most hyper person ever.
We're gonna pour all the flavors into one cup, add some vodka, see what happens. Legendary supplements cocktails.
Yeah, exactly. That's a new slogan for you.
Yeah.
Legendary supplements. Fuck you, lemon yellow. Anyway, we should get started. So I am Mike _ and all the Time Pals are here. We're starting with the very hyper now John Powell.
I'm just waiting for it to hit mid-episode, man, and it just starts shaking like a chihuahua out in the snow.
Pouring sweat. Why is it so hot in here? With me, as always, Nickell.
Howdy.
And then, of course, we have ShadoSpartan.
It's finally getting colder in Michigan, but I'm still in shorts.
They're finally getting colder.
Finally?
It's finally
hitting 30 degrees. There's actual ice
Jesus
outside.
Christ. So I did want to mention that I think I say this every like 4 weeks, but I always forget to mention that you have a retro gaming YouTube page, which focuses on deep dives and reviews. I should have said it then, and I'm probably not going to say it ever again. So very quick history about that. Like the Joker, there's actually a couple different origin stories, but in general, the concept of the Happy Meal is based off children's cereal boxes from the 1960s, which kind of makes sense if you kind of think about it, right? Brightly colorful. There's some kind of animal or clown or something on the front. Very easy to picture. In 1973, McDonald's rival Burger Chef introduced packaging for a kids meal called the Fun Meal. On the package were crossword puzzles and riddles, and inside was a vinyl record that contained satanic messages. We're broke dads, and then you're going to buy one off of eBay to cross-check my shit. So the concept of giving children something to do while they ate had already been around. Case in point, that cereal boxing. Typically, adults, when they have a meal, will interact with each other, but kids will not. They will get distracted, as we all know. They would rather be on a tablet or do something else, scribbling or something like that. So a Kansas City-based ad executive named Bob Bernstein noticed that his kid would rather read his cereal box over and over again and sit in complete silence as he ate. Bernstein remembered this lesson and very little else due to his alcoholism and rage. I just made that up. It could be true. I don't know. You're not checking my shit anyway. So in 1979, McDonald's asked him to develop kid-friendly packaging. Bernstein created a cardboard box with illustrations and puzzles and added basically what he felt would be the best packaging for the new Fun Meal, right? I'm going to recreate what my kid does, which is ignore everybody else. Here's this cool box. Alongside Bernstein was another McDonald's owner who could actually also justifiably lay claim to its invention. This one is Yolanda Fernandez de Cofino, a Guatemalan McDonald's owner and eventually the president of McDonald's Guatemala. De Cofino, as a lot of people already know, knew that children couldn't read very well and will say yes to whatever bullshit comes out of dad's mouth. So you point to anything on a menu, catalog, doesn't matter. You present it to a 4-year-old and they will nod and say they want it. Well, DiCofino said, fuck yeah, let's get money, and made a meal that was just for them. The idea actually is brilliant. You already have a meal that consisted of a hamburger, fries, and a shake, and you call that the meal for kids. Unlike, say, the Burger Chef one where you're calling it a fun meal, but you're still making them pick a thing. Much like the more modern day Happy Meal, we give you virtually no choices. You just want to say, hey, to your kid, you want a Happy Meal? I'm just going to get you a Happy Meal. There's no real like yes or no. There's no real what do you want. You remove basically unnecessary freedom from their lives, and it made it easier and faster to actually make them buy stuff. Additionally, she would also go to her local market and purchase small like knickknacks and stuff. Basically, your choking hazard sized toys, place them in the bags, and then make them like a little fun treat. So she was the first one, as far as anybody can tell, that actually put 2 and 2 together. Although for her, I think it was just completely random. She would just buy whatever was there, toss it in the bag, and then off they went. So the first Happy Meals are basically a combination of Bernstein's Fury packaging and then DiCorfino's decision to remove all choice. So that essentially is what created the Happy Meal that we know it. Now, when it comes to McDonald's, the first Happy Meal toys are what you'd probably expect for the 70s. Stencils, erasers, handfuls of grain. But in 1979, they got their first movie tie-in, which was, and John might know this, Star Trek the Motion Picture, the first one.
Yeah.
Burger Chef got Star Wars. So it stands to reason that McDonald's latched onto a sci-fi movie epic as well, and then immediately fucked it up by making them stencils and erasers. For all I know, they still exist. I don't know how much it costs, but they technically are now in infamy as the first real movie tie-in. So bringing us back to now. Every Time Pal here knows exactly the power of a kid's meal. We were born in, we stood on the backs of weaker children who swallowed the ET-shaped erasers and didn't survive, and now we pass it on to our own children like an Apache bravery test. We keep the toys we love, and at least in my ethnic family, we donate the ones that suck to our cousins and nephews in the Philippines that we'll probably never see. I'm assuming that we all started with Happy Meals, as I don't know honestly what region or of the country that Burger Chef is in. I don't know if you guys ever been to one. I've never even heard of it until I read this. But I'm assuming for this episode, we all kind of started with the same golden arches, cardboard box, and then something nice inside. So I guess we should start from the beginning. So does anybody remember their first one?
Man, that's a long time ago.
Well, see, for me, because I used to keep them all, I actually knew what mine was. So my first one was a Ghostbusters pencil set. Came out in 1987. I was far too young to realize how totally hosed that was. But it consisted of, no bullshit, a white pencil and an eraser in the shape of the headquarters. Not a ghost, not the car, but a gray building. And that was it. That's what they gave you for your Ghostbuster movie tie-in.
That's pretty funny, man.
I mean, that building probably got destroyed in 9/11. But
Oh God.
we're talking like but it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I had that thing for like a decade. You know what I mean? Completely worn out, right? I never used the pencil, obviously, just because it was the first thing that it just stuck around. Just some shit just stuck around. I never sent that off to the Philippines for some reason. Now I wish I still had it.
I think the first one I remember is, I just looked it up. It's from 1988, and you guys remember Mac Tonight?
No,
it was like
you fucking asshole. You stole mine.
He was the moon shaped the mascot for a minute.
Do you guys know him? Does everybody else know him?
Yes.
Okay, he's Ray Charles mixed with a fucking moon. It was amazing.
They had a line of Happy Meal toys of him, and I think going back, that's probably the first one I remember.
So, do you know, this is well before you, right, Shadow?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, we're starting early.
Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
No, honestly.
Okay, so Mac Tonight was their attempt at basically making an adult Ronald McDonald. He was a crescent moon, pale, with sunglasses on. He would play the piano and sing. Oh God, what was it? Was that Bobby Darin song?
Mac the Knife.
Yeah, thank
right?
you, Mac the Knife. Yeah, or I guess Louis Armstrong. Whatever. It's an old standby. And the whole point was he would sing this song, and then you would like just go buy McDonald's as an adult. I don't know. I have no idea what the connection was. And then eventually they released these McDonald's toys where he's like in a car and he's on a boat and stuff like that.
There was a jet ski.
Jet ski, right? Ridiculous. And this oversized head. Do you know who played Mac Tonight?
Nope.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, like the creature actor today, even Doug Jones?
Yes, that Doug Jones.
That's freaking cool. I love Doug Jones.
Crazy, right? They reintroduced him actually to Southeast Asia, and back in like 2005, 2006, brought him back to Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. That's why I know it. It was an animated version of him dancing on top of McDonald's and playing a saxophone. So yeah, they brought him back once, and then I didn't know this until I looked it up because I couldn't remember when that toy came out. But he ended up becoming a meme in around like 2007 for white supremacists. So,
oh God damn it! Of course,
of course he did, right? So I guess they would take this guy called Moon Man, which is essentially a parody of Mac Tonight, and then give him racist song lyrics. And he became like the other, like basically the doppelganger of Pepe the Frog, where they're both hate symbols, but they both went in different directions. He ended up. I think the reason you don't see him as much anymore is because I want to say I was reading somewhere, but I think YouTube ended up having a big hand as far as why you don't see him. Yeah, so it looks like the Anti-Defamation League added him to the database of hate symbols. Back then, fucking the moon is in the Anti-Defamation League, and it's
Dude, white supremacists fucking ruin everything. Do you know how long I wanted to have a tiki bar when I got a backyard? Now I can't do that.
Are tiki
Yeah,
bars?
this is why we can't have nice things.
This is why, because of the tiki torches thing. You can't have a tiki bar without tiki torches, and now you can't have the fucking tiki torches because of
forgot
these
about
assholes.
that. So now you're just drinking in a skirt in the dark.
Exactly. Just me and my coconut bra being sad drinking Mai Tais, man. It's fucked up.
That you don't know how hard it is for you of all people. Your symbol is a guy in 2 Hawaiian shirts.
I know.
You are
No,
the
it's a Hawaiian shirt over a Hawaiian romper.
Thank you. That's right.
That is a full
apologize.
onesie. There is the whole thing has to come off if I want to go to the
I
bathroom.
apologize. No, you're right. You're right. I wish you made a Happy Meal. But just like you're the version of you now where you're like a little mad at Whitey.
Yeah. Me with all my self-white hatred. Yeah.
Every puzzle on the box is just your fist.
It's just me giving the finger. You open it up, it's like a pop-up book with me in the bottom, just giving everyone the finger.
Anyways, yeah, so we'll go on then. So what was yours then, John? Like what was your favorite one?
So I couldn't really think of it. So I'm currently scrolling through a list to try and see if one of them jogs my memory as a first one. And honestly, I feel like it was, but I feel like it was the Berenstain Bears books from 1990.
Oh, wow.
Like that's the first one that I can remember. I feel like I probably got some of these other ones, but I remember like how hardcore of a Berenstain Bears fan I was. And I know that I got some of those books. But I mean, I know that before that there were Flintstones kids, there were the McNugget buddies. Like I feel like I definitely had some of those at some point, but it's just it's not ringing a bell as my first one.
They brought back the McNugget buddies. You know that, right?
Did they? That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't remember the name of the artist. If I did, I'd name drop him now. But he did a whole collection of them, and I had to buy one. I had to buy one. So basically, you're already expensive as Happy Meal was like 3 times as much, just for me to lose it. But yeah, no, they brought him back, and it was a straight nostalgia drip for sure. And how about you, Shadow?
Either had to be like a Star Wars thing or a Pokemon thing, because those were my 2 favorite things around that time. So I think I'm going to go with the McDonald's Pokemon Gold Card Collection.
I forgot they did that.
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
Yeah, I think those were like the first time I'm like, oh, I got to collect all these. But I think I only had like the Pikachu one, I think.
I've been to your house. I know your parents had money. So I thought what I thought you were going to say was they would just buy you toys and then stick them in the Happy Meal.
If we happened to go to McDonald's, I would be like, oh, can we please try and get one of these?
Yeah, no, I believe you. I forgot they did the Pokemon thing. That must have been a huge hit. See, when by the time Pokemon came out, I was already kind of past it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also it just was one of those ones. It missed me, like for some crazy reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we're close enough that I feel like yeah, it was so close for you, but because I was in middle school when it came out, and I think you were just in high school, right?
I was in the 8th grade when I first realized it was a thing, but then I was in high school when it became like basically when it exploded.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I remember hearing of it and going like, "Oh, that's interesting," but it's anime. I'm not interested. And then I did it. Then I went to high school, and then that shit was everywhere. Just fucking everywhere. Okay, so with that in mind, does anybody have memories of a favorite one?
Favorite ones probably have to be one. See, one of them isn't an actual Happy Meal toy though. One of them is just
it's just whiskey.
Yeah. There was this really, really weird McDonald's, and the manager just dropped those little airplane whiskey bottles into the kids' meals. That location shut down fast. No, but it was you could get for $3.49 at the time, which yeah, it's probably like $10 now. I don't know the appreciation there. Burger King, you could buy a Ninja Turtles episode VHS.
You know what? I never did it.
Yeah, we had
Never
one.
did it. Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah, we had
hardcore
one.
into it, dude. I if my mom would have let me, man, I would have been a Ninja Turtle for Halloween. For you know what? Not even for Halloween. For most of the days of the year, every year, I would have painted my whole body green. Probably died like in Goldfinger when he would paint the people gold and suffocate them. I would have done that, and I was so hardcore into Ninja Turtles. So my grandparents were always, whenever they took me, they would if there was a new one of the tapes, we'd grab it. I love those tapes. I love the original Ninja Turtle series.
What was the difference between if you bought just a regular tape and the McDonald's tape? Because I'm assuming it's all the same cartoons.
It's just individual episodes. Like I feel like back then, and you guys correct me here if I'm wrong, seasons of shows weren't really available.
Yeah, you couldn't put it on VHS.
Yeah, you couldn't put full format. You know, a tape would hold maybe 2 1-hour episodes of a show max, maybe 3 if you cut the commercial parts out. So getting a tape that I could rewatch at any point, like I could be like, there's nothing good on TV, I'm gonna watch this Ninja Turtles episode again. I don't remember if they were, I don't think they were special episodes created for Burger King. I think they just grabbed 4 episodes, popped them each onto an individual VHS, and then just sold them. But
yeah, understood.
having
You
it
gotta
at will.
you gotta remember, like, the only way to get individual episodes from TV back then was to record it onto VHS, you know? Commercials and all.
I didn't.
But-
I didn't own that many tapes. I re-recorded it, so I was the kid that had the recordings of stuff with.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch too, but you know, you can't just they didn't like release a ton of episodes just on VHS.
See, I didn't know that. Because like again, so for somebody who's a major Turtles fan like me, I actually didn't own that many tapes. I think I owned like 2. Everything else was just straight up stolen, but stolen from obviously the actual when that show was playing live, quote unquote. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So did they have the toys alongside the video? Because I remember being really disappointed with the toys.
Did they have toys along with the videos? I feel like they did have toys along with the videos.
Because I do remember when they had the Ninja Turtle toys, and it was very like there were like magnets and stuff. It was really weird. Like it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was 1990. I can check against the freaking the list that I've got here of all the toys, but I feel like they wouldn't just do the tapes of the Ninja Turtles
more,
without
right?
doing yeah.
That's probably, honestly, now that you've told me that makes more sense as to why the toys were shit. Because I remember distinctly going like, "Oh, these suck," and then no wonder nobody told me because we would have to spend money. But there would, if I knew there were actual tapes, I would have just been like, "Oh, let's just get the tapes." You know what I mean? Fuck all this. Fuck the Michelangelo say frisbee. You know what I mean? I'd rather watch something.
Michelangelo. God, there were weird toys like that, huh? Just
I got a thing for you guys later on, but yeah, the Ninja Turtle. I'll give that one to you because like, had I known they did actual videos, that probably would have made my list 100%.
I mean, if we're talking about just the Happy Meal like that, because that was like a side promotional thing. I only remember them doing 2 things like that. There was the Ninja Turtles tapes at Burger King, and then there were cassette tapes at McDonald's, and it was music cassettes. And I think it was again like $2-3 back then for a cassette. It was like basically like an LP length. There was like 6 songs total, but on a tape. And I think I grabbed Roxette. Which like they had hit their real big run about I don't know 8 years earlier. And so this was just like, you know how bands will get really good and then some of their future material is like, oh yeah, it's good, I'm happy to listen to you, but I feel like that was the tape that I got. But those are the only 2 instances I remember of a like a paid side item that like tied to the Happy Meals. And that I assume was not really tied to the Happy Meals. I think that was just like a promo thing that they did.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
I guess for me, not so much my favorite per se, but definitely the most memorable as far as toys goes would definitely be the every year when they released the Hot Wheels / Barbie toys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, that one always was like a big deal. You know, you always had to go and at least get your Hot Wheel or something, you know?
No, I remember that very well because my sister actually would always get the boy toys anyway. And she ended up growing up and marrying a woman. So it all makes sense. But yeah, but it was, we had so many of those moments where my mom would beg my sister was a tomboy. So she would beg my sister, like, hey, you want to, I don't even think she would ask her. She'd just be like, I'm going to go get your sister a Barbie toy. And then she would immediately throw a fit. Immediately. Like,
Okay.
no interest at all, even back then.
But so, I mean, as far as toys goes, that's where I'm at for like my most favorite, most memorable. Because I think that really is the most iconic, unless you want to talk about that one crazy Beanie Baby period.
Oh, that's
But overall, I think the Hot Wheels Barbie combo is like
it's
most iconic when it comes to McDonald's toys. But to John's point, he's totally forgetting about when you're talking about things you can buy on the side. He's totally forgetting about all of the Disney cups from Burger King.
Oh my God.
And those, I think, would be my favorite just because we had a billion of them and they lasted like decades.
I completely forgot about those.
There was the whole line of Pocahontas, and then there was a whole line of just Disney movies. But then also on top of that, just making the list from KFC was they had Looney Tune head cups.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Star Wars ones. I didn't know about the Looney Tune ones.
Yeah, they had Looney Tune cups, and I'm pretty sure they came from KFC. So the cups were like the shape of a couple Looney Tune characters, and we had a couple of them.
Oh, my parents didn't love me. I didn't have any of that shit. You know what I did have though is I had and we kept it in the house up until like when I was in college. We were actually drinking out of it. Were the Batman Forever glasses?
Yes, yeah. That's also like what I was thinking of too.
I had the Riddler one. Where the handle was upside down. And it's awesome until you have to drink out of it for more than 20 seconds and it starts to hurt your hand. But it was amazing. I had that thing for years. I mean, we're talking like 20 years. It was incredible. I don't even know where it is. It might still be intact somewhere.
Well, yeah, because it was like a glass, like high quality cup,
right? It was straight up a thick glass. It wasn't like it was amazing.
Things were so much more affordable back then.
Right? How about you, Shadow?
Normally, it'd probably be a Star Wars thing, but I'm actually going to go with Bionicle. Do you guys remember those?
I do.
Yes, I wasn't into it, but I remember
McDonald's had a line. I do remember McDonald's had a line of Bionicles once.
I do not. I don't know what a Bionicle is.
Okay, think of it like I was just going to say Legos, but on like robotic steroids or something.
Like if Lego made Connects, man.
Oh, really? Is it made by Lego?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. It's just Legos.
It's basically Legos, but they just tried something different to be like, this is kind of Lego, but it's very different and cool.
Just bigger Legos.
Yeah, in a way.
No, not bigger like Duplo blocks or something. Like it's just
sharper, I guess.
It was sharper. I was gonna say it was like how to describe it.
I know.
It definitely wasn't that they were bigger.
Every robot's a triangle.
Well, I mean, okay. I think they had like a great marketing strategy for the Happy Meal that they'd give you like almost like small size for the robots, hoping that you'd like what you saw. So you'd go down to Toys R Us back in the day and get the actual Bionicle, which was taller, arms and legs were longer, and each one had like its own different like weapon. One would hold like a flaming sword for the red one. The blue one had like 2 hooks. I think what was cool about it is you could take the masks off of these Happy Meal toys and you could put it on the actual ones, and they were different colors. So I think there was that kind of connection that they were hoping that the kids would want them or get them as a Happy Meal toy, and they'd be like, oh, you can actually get the bigger ones by going down to Toys R Us or Legoland.
Right, like giving out free drugs.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you're already associating happiness with French fries and stuff. Why not, right? Holy shit!
So I thought those were the coolest ones. And then I did get a few of the Bionicles for like Christmas or something. They were cool.
And now he's addicted to heroin.
Get him hooked.
You know what's funny is, okay, so here's the difference between me and you and our age difference of about a decade. I have the 1987 version of that on my list. I have the changeables, which were Transformer wannabes that were all in the shape of food. So here you made full-on robots. I could take a Big Mac, flip one piece and have kind of a head, and flip another piece and have kind of a foot. And I thought this was amazing tech at the time. 1987, I'm obviously very young, but I kept all that shit. Like I kept it for years and years until I eventually just got they eventually just got so worn out being on a shelf that I just threw them away, and I wish I hadn't. But yeah, the changeables were McDonald's answer, obviously, to the Transformers, and they were admittedly, at least in my mind's eye, when I went to go take a look at the photos of it for this episode, they looked pretty good. Like, I feel like a lot of toys, especially right now, they tend to skimp on details. These things were very well detailed. You know what I mean? That you could, the faces and like the individual sesame seeds on a bun and blah blah blah. To me, they were excellent little collector items.
Yeah, and then they had the line that turned into dinosaurs.
Yes,
also.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you, Nickell.
And those ones were actually a little bit more advanced in terms of transforming, I would say. You know, they had a little bit better and more movable parts and more transforming, if you will.
Plus, they were dinosaurs.
I was going to say the same thing. Plus, you cannot go wrong with a dinosaur. Come on now.
Yeah, dinosaurs were the best. Why don't we ever get asked what our favorite dinosaur is anymore, man?
Oh, man. I wish somebody would ask me.
Mike, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Fuck off.
I forgot I don't count as a person, do you?
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Ask me again.
I want to. I'm scared.
So with the favorites out of the way, obviously at some point in time we stopped getting Happy Meals because we got old, usually within our 20s somewhere. But at some point in time, did you ever get something you were like, oh, this is terrible, or like, oh, the corporation won this one?
I would probably say more often than not, that's kind of how you ended up feeling, right?
I will say this. I actually thought for the most part they were pretty decent. It's usually when they got really like, they would do some lazy shit where it could be anything in the world and it's like a disc or it's another, it's, you know what I mean? It's something really dumb. It would be something like a wallet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to that point, I would have to say the one that comes to mind first would be those Ninja Turtle quote unquote frisbees, where it looked like they were plastic belt buckles, but they called them frisbees. You know, and none of them were seemingly aerodynamic.
No, and you would throw them. I don't know if they tried to market them as ninja toys or what, but they were garbage.
Right, they're just like plastic shapes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
with like an orange marking to make that's Michelangelo. There you go. Like, no, I remember that very well. Those were ridiculous. I actually will say this. I don't like, I'm having kids now. I don't like what they did with like all the Marvel stuff. So like it's all these plastic figures that are supposed to like connect to each other, and then you push like a thing in their back. They're very large. That's their only thing they have going for it. Is they're very big, but they don't move very well. They're not really that cool looking. Like a lot of them are just random characters that are all like painted the same shades of gray. And my kids who love everything cannot stand those. cannot stand them at all. They'll get them and they'll look really disappointed because it'll be like, it'll be some random character from the Eternals. You know what I mean? Like and they don't, they don't know any of this shit.
Oh
Right,
God.
right.
So for them, they're like, one, they fell asleep in the movie, and two, who is this? It's just nothing cool. That's not my choice. My choice, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Michael Jordan had a thing with McDonald's. And Michael Jordan had a soccer ball that you'd have to blow up yourself. It was a fitness fun
Yes.
pack. And he had a soccer ball and a jump rope.
Yep.
And
Yes.
And a frisbee.
I remember that.
The same frisbee that was in the Ninja Turtle thing, except in blue. And the best part was it had what was supposed to be a stopwatch. This was,
Yes.
and all of it was garbage. Every single thing was garbage. Everything deflated. Nothing stayed in shape. The what do you call the jump rope was like maybe 1.5 feet. You know what I mean? Like it was all trash. Like that would be my vote for worst thing I've ever gotten.
Oh, that's a really good one. I totally forgot about that, but that would have to take my vote also.
I don't know. Maybe I blocked out the trauma. I'm not 100% sure, but like, I don't remember the Frisbees and all that stuff. I don't know why. I just feel like as I look back, like so many of the toys were just like not great. Like things that I was really excited about, and I go back and I'm like, oh, I feel like it's almost on par with what there is now, to where we're just like, it's just mediocre.
Right. I mean, they definitely got us with the commercials, hook, line, and sinker. We're like, oh my God, these are going to be so cool. And then we get there and, we already have the food, but we're disappointed by the toy.
Are you really saying that our nostalgia for our nostalgia show might be incorrect?
No. I'm not saying
No.
The nostalgia is there. Like the nostalgia, like 6-year-old us didn't understand the world, so it's not that the nostalgia wasn't bad. The nostalgia wasn't bad. It's just like looking at it now, all of these things were both equally good and bad, because it was great to us that like there was nothing that I got except for like those few times where I would be like, oh, let's go and let's get the Hot Wheels toys. Hell yeah. And then for some odd reason, just the tired ass McDonald's employee just didn't care. And then I opened my Happy Meal and there's a Barbie in there. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I wanted a Hot Wheels toy. Like those were the only times that I
were ever disappointed by anything.
Yeah. Just in general, just where I was just disappointed in life.
It set you up though, man. McDonald's did grow us up, I guess.
True.
How about you, Shadow?
I think for me, it would be Furby. Remember when Furbies first came?
You had Furbies?
McDonald's had in 1998 Furby toys that would just have like a little wheel on the bottom that you could roll around, and like the feet would just kind of move to make it look like it's moving.
Were they just as creepy?
I guess their eyelids are a little bit more closed, so slightly less creepy.
More demonic than creepy.
But you could tell that McDonald's just wanted to jump on that bandwagon since they were popular at that time. But they were just such a disappointment to be like, what is this? When I could go and get the other actual Furby.
If my kids opened one up and they got that I would we're never eating anything ever.
Right.
Everything's going to be home cooked. Nice job, McDonald's.
Right.
No, that's ridiculous. Because for real though, like, is everything else? I mean, I shouldn't say everything else, but out of all the random toys, that's one where it doesn't invoke a feeling of like cutesiness or happiness. It's a weird looking toy in reality anyway, or the regular size anyway.
No. Furbies were government spy devices, man.
Oh, I've heard that.
100%.
Their first attempt.
Yeah, they were the first ones. They were that's what they tested with before they replaced all the birds.
Okay. I found one which I found a toy that might be the front runner for worst idea. It's not one that I got, but I remember it, and it was in 1999 when the Inspector Gadget live movie came out.
Oh yes.
Oh.
They had each Happy Meal toy would have a separate body part. And the idea was to buy all 8. And then you'll have a whole Inspector Gadget.
You could have one whole Matthew Broderick.
Right?
Right. So, in one you get like an arm. It looks like, one of them you get an arm, one of them you get like a set of legs, but it takes 8 of these to make a whole ass toy.
That's my serial killer's first Happy Meal.
That's
Holy
the origin
shit.
story.
That's right.
You could see that as a good pitch in a meeting, saying see,
Where are the bodies?
keep buying these toys or Happy Meal toys until they get the full thing together.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good business idea,
Exactly.
but for the child,
what? I just get this arm or this leg.
Yeah, how many right arms you're gonna get before you finally get lucky?
Right.
But if you think about it, though, I don't know if that was the first time we've seen that in toy industry stuff, but that's now a normal thing with action figures. The Marvel does it now with all of their Marvel Legends figures. So you have to buy what, 5, 6, 7 $30 Marvel Legends figures so you can put together a separate Apocalypse figure, or Apocalypse, yeah. And just great, so I'm out $180 so I can have this other figure. It's a great business model.
Right. So they saw the Inspector Gadget worked in 1999 and they were like, all right, great, we're going to trick John again 20 years later.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe Dom is a serial killer. he got a little too excited.
Just the business idea. I can see
right?
that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No. I can only just imagine a younger version of you just being really excited to bury them deep in the earth where my crimes can't be found. No, it's odd. Have you guys ever get toys from not McDonald's and stuff, but the weirder ones like the Wendy's and I don't know.
Oh, they were never as good.
They were always off, right? They were always just a little bit the idea was there and they were always just a little worse than everything else.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's not like they couldn't necessarily secure good IP rights or anything like that. It's just
that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. It was like McDonald's. McDonald's always had the bigger names, and then Wendy's had the Don Bluth movies.
Wendy's had Play-Doh. I bought my kids a meal, I want to say last year, and they just threw Play-Doh in there. And I looked at it and I'm like, you could get this anywhere. This isn't even a tie-in for it. There's not a Play-Doh movie. You know what I mean? It's just, here's some Play-Doh. I'm sorry.
Please don't put that out into the fucking universe, man. We don't need a Play-Doh movie. Someone's going to hear this and it's going to get back up to the top and they're going to make a freaking Play-Doh movie.
It's going to be played by Jack Black and Kevin Hart. Watch. It's going to be amazing. Your kid's going to want to see it. But just like you were saying, they always seem to get the Fox movie, right? You know what I mean? If McDonald's got Disney, you would get the Fox ones, right? You get Jetsons movie.
You're like, I wanted Lion King, but I got Troll in Central Park.
I don't know why you said a Troll in Central Park and my brain flashed to the Leprechaun movies. I'm like, that's not the right thing. I don't know why.
We might have to go back to the store for that one. Holy shit. I like that idea. Just a horror movie pack? That would be amazing.
That would be a great October thing, and have it be some sort of retro or nostalgia meal for grown-ups who grew up with those bad. I mean, I know they're still bad B-C horror movies today, but I feel like we had some of the best with those, with Leprechaun, Critters, all that. That would be a great grown-up meal.
Yeah, well, that's actually how that other, what do you call it, that I mentioned before, that artist, when he redid the chicken nugget guys, it was for grown-ups. He charged, I think the actual amount of money I spent just to try it was $17. It was not really, it was a little bit dumb on my part, but it, what was it gonna do? I mean, it was one of those the part of my brain that was it's just the same piece of plastic. They're just selling it back to you now 20 years later. And I went, oh yeah, cool. Here's my card. Yeah, it was dumb of me. But they did that. They do that occasionally. Though they will try to resell it back. I'm surprised no one's done that with horror stuff. You could just make a chibi Jason or something. I'll be down. Honestly,
Yeah,
I would be right there.
dude, horror stuff is some not McDonald's. So McDonald's, you've pissed me off. Wendy's, do something with this. Jack in the Box. Actually, you know what? This is the thing. Jack in the Box. Take your Munchie meals because we know you've got the advertising. We know who you're marketing to with the Munchies box, with the Munchies meal. Throw in some sort of horror fun with it. You can do this, Jack in the Box. I believe in you.
You know what's funny is I was trying to look up Jack in the Box stuff, and I recognize. I mean, I can't tell what's real and what's not. Because every time I look it up, I'm like, oh, these are actually really cool. It's like Superman and shit. But I'm like, I don't remember them ever doing this when we were kids. It's all like very
I don't think they did.
now. Yeah, I don't know when they started it. So
I feel like Jack in the Box didn't get into kids' meals until like the early 2000s or something.
that would make sense. I think they just gave you a cookie. The word. I mean, I feel like Nickell wins this again, but the worst one for me was during COVID, where not during COVID, but like around that time, where they were giving kids. What is that? What's that? Not Justice League. Oh, Teen Titans Go. So for Teen Titans Go, you would think that it would be something really cool because a great show, huge characters, bright and colorful. They were giving out large, not coloring books, just large single pages of character sheets that you could color.
Like oh, you know what? I do remember that.
It was I was really disappointed. Like they gave you that and like 4 crayons. And
right.
My kids would just kind of draw on it, but they would look at me like, this is a toy, and I'm like, yeah, isn't it rad? But like at the same time, I'm like, this is kind of a joke because I can just print this. Right. So I didn't like it. I was like, okay.
It's the only reason I bought a printer is because I was like, I'm not going to spend $11 on a coloring book when I can just print pages out from the internet.
I'm literally right there with you. I've printed more like Frozen characters than anything else in my entire life. I have a 3D printer, and my real printer has been used just for coloring pages.
Yeah.
So I realized I don't have an ending for this, so I didn't think of one. So basically, instead of kind of reminiscing, unless you guys have anything else you want to say.
I mean, one thing I will give credit to McDonald's for this because, and I know this will come up for us in a completely different episode. Yes, Burger King really latched onto Ninja Turtles, but McDonald's got pretty much every other cartoon from my childhood, from Flintstones kids to Tiny Toons to like everything I loved watching. Regardless of how good the actual show itself was, McDonald's had it. You know, like Tailspin is still like, I've been trying to get my kids to watch Tailspin because I'm like, I promise you'll like it. It's not just some weird show from when your dad was little and I'm trying to live through you to reclaim my youth.
I'm right now. They're not gonna like it.
Oh God, you're gonna say Tailspin is awful?
Tailspin is not awful, but out of everything in that group, I hated it the most.
I mean, I don't know. It was like Miami Vice if you took King Louie and Baloo. that's what it was. It was great.
Bears can't fly planes.
They did a great job with their tie-ins early on, and then of course got some of the early video game tie-ins too. I still remember getting those Mario 3 ones, getting super excited at the Mario 3 toys after that movie The Wizard came out, and then they unveiled Mario 3 in The Wizard, and I was like, oh my God.
I didn't mention the Mario 3 toys, but they were on my list too if somebody stole one of mine. I never got Mario. The only reason why I don't have any fond memories of it. I got the little turtle guy where if you pushed a button it would kind of sort of jump, and I got like 4 Luigis and I was out. But for real, but it was a really cool, like every time I saw one, at least on the commercials, or just like Nickell said, I mean, they sell that commercial to you hardcore. The Mario one looked great. Like it looked really good. Even in pictures now, it still looks pretty decent for what it was. You know, this is back when they still drew Mario kind of like super fat.
Yeah.
Like the toy itself was very fat. I thought it was cool looking at the time.
It wasn't all that great. It was one of those like suction cup things where you press it down and then you're supposed to wait for it to jump up. But the suction cup never worked.
It just kind of falls over.
Yeah. It was way too top heavy.
I never got one. I can tell you, I think Luigi's. I don't remember the photo anymore, but I do vaguely remember the toy itself, and I remember it was basically like a car.
Yeah, it was a pullback. You know, the pullback and let go cars.
So, being that I don't have an ending, what I'm going to do instead is I had, until you guys stole Inspector Gadget from me, I pulled, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movie franchises that either had a toy associated in real life or I just made it the fuck up. So originally, I was gonna have everything like by year, and I said I threw that away because I had no time for this shit. So I'm gonna tell you a movie. I'm gonna describe the toy, and you tell me if this actually was inside of a Happy Meal or not. Ready? All right. So Peter Pan, 1998. To coincide with the re-release of Disney's Peter Pan, inside of every Happy Meal was Peter Pan's infamous Swiss Army knife. One side folded out into a crocodile head with gnashing teeth. The other was a tiny shovel in the shape of a plastic cocaine spoon. And finally, a pull-out tab with photos of your enemies, real or fake.
Oh God, it sounds so bizarre. Like it's probably real. Like it feels like one of those things where people were just like, "Hey, yeah, this will be a fun toy," and nobody would think anything sinister of it. I'm gonna say yes, that was a real toy.
I feel like I want to lean real.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards real.
Real toy. So
Of course.
we released Peter Pan. They had a bunch of stuff with it. Things like Captain Hook had a like a telescope and shit. They had a Swiss Army knife, which I don't know why, and it did have a tiny shovel. And the little pull tab had pictures of the other Lost Boys. It didn't do anything else. It was just like you pulled it, and then if you were in an emergency, you get to see a bunch of other dudes. Just
Right. Yeah. I remember the toy line. I remember the toy line vaguely, but I didn't remember that. That's why I was like on the fence about it.
It sounds like a good, like a little serial killer toy. Like you've got your list of victims that you can slide out at any point, and you're going
When
to
you
stab
see it, you
them in
assume
the neck
that
with the alligator teeth.
that's why I wrote that, because when you see it, you're just like, oh, this is the hit list. Let's go, Swiss Army knife. And then so we'll go to the next one. Godzilla 1998. It was it was the Americans' turn to America the F out of Godzilla. And to celebrate, each Happy Meal contained a cartoonish soft plastic head. The most controversial being Matthew Broderick, whose pursed lips squirted water, or any liquid really, up to 7 feet away, just like in the movie. Real or fake?
That's real.
Yeah, it just sounds like I remember just a horrifying amount of those. Like you squeeze the head, you put it in water, you're screwing around with it in the bathtub, and just, yeah, squeeze water toys. Yes.
I don't know about up to 7 feet though.
Got to be 100% real.
I mean, I feel like if you squeeze it hard enough, yeah.
So I'm kind of tricking you guys a little bit. Fake. It was never a McDonald's thing. There was never a Matthew Broderick head.
Oh, you bastard.
There was never a McDonald's head. They did end up releasing Godzilla toys at Burger King, and eventually they released a hand puppet. So I think so you're thinking of
that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was a rubber hand puppet. Yeah.
They never released Matthew Broderick as a squirt gun.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So next one, the Iron Giant, 1999. Considered at the time to be an underrated gem, the Iron Giant would eventually prove the world wrong and completely fade into obscurity. Beloved by those that only remember the ending as being kind of a bummer, I think. McDonald's celebrated the Iron Giant the best way it could, with colorful stamps. Each stamp depicted a memorable scene in the movie, which looked like every other thing in the movie. Gray. Real or fake?
I'm going fake.
Yeah, I don't know why. Fake.
That was a deal breaker for you, as I don't remember stamps.
Yeah, the stamps.
Totally fake. Nobody cared about the Iron Giant in 1999. So, next one. Hotel for Dogs, 2009. Hotel for Dogs is a film about orphans who try to hide stray and forgotten dogs in an abandoned hotel before animal control finds the dogs and euthanizes everyone involved in such a dumb movie. It has Lisa Kudrow in it. Phoebe stars in this. Turn on the fucking gas. Anyways, the meals are tiny puppies that wouldn't have met quality control standards of Temu, and they were quickly abandoned just as quick as their owners did. Real or fake?
Wait, what type of toy are you saying it is?
Tiny puppies.
Tiny puppies. Like what? Like a plastic puppy? Like a Beanie Baby? What are we talking here?
You get tiny Timu style puppies. That's all you get.
Tiny team. That could be anything. Timu
Sounds
is
like
the
a choking
Wild
hazard.
West,
That's
man.
fake.
Okay, we're not talking small enough to kill somebody,
Okay.
but smaller than a Beanie Baby.
I'm gonna say yes.
Smaller than a Beanie Baby, but not small enough for you to choke on. As of yet, undetermined. The material of it, I don't know. Real?
I'm going fake.
I feel like this is just vague enough that Mike is using it to be divisive and split us over the answer.
Yeah, I'm going fake on it.
You got the tiebreaker, Dom.
Oh, I said earlier, I think they're real.
Oh, they're real? ShadoSpartan is right. Hotel for Dogs in
What the
2009.
fuck?
They
I
had
said real too. What am I? Do I not count anymore?
Yes, you don't
Fucking
no. You guys split. I thought Dom was a tiebreaker.
No,
I didn't hear
no.
Dom
First, I
the time.
said no, real, and then John said real. Yeah.
Oh, I
And then-
didn't hear you say. I thought John said it first.
Oh,
My bad. So yeah,
Yeah,
anyway.
but then you give. Oh yeah, Dom, you're right. Like, oh no,
Dom was right. No, he was right. Just like you said, he's right.
yeah. Forget about the fucking quarterback putting the ball where it needs to go, man. It's all about the receiver.
I totally agree with you. I don't stop drilling. You suck oil. We're on the same page. For the first time in our lives, me and you are simpatico.
All right.
So, last one. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 from 2014.
Oh God,
The worst film in the
such
worst
a bad movie.
worst film in the worst Spider-Man series got a series of gender-divided toys. On the boys' side was the usual: minifigure, Spider-Man mask, and Catholic guilt. On the girls' side is when it gets weird. Gwen is dead due to the Spider-Man's failure, and she can't be used as a toy, obviously. To make up for it, purses and hair clips. They have a spider on most of them, but disappointment on all of them. Real or fake?
I mean, so you're saying there was basically that it was a split: action figures and boy stuff, and then what? Just hair accessories for the girls.
Yep, makeup, not makeup, purses, hair clips, lip gloss.
I want to say this is real because I feel like, but they've done gender divided toys before with, I mean, a lot of the time, but like they went hard on the Barbie Hot Wheels.
Would they do it for Spider-Man?
But would they do it for Spider-Man?
Gwen is dead.
I was gonna say, what are they gonna do? Just like a limp Gwen body hanging from a spider rope as the girl toy?
No, it's a figure made out of sticks, and you can just break them in your hand.
It's fake. It's fake.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fake. I feel like I want to give them more credit than probably is due, and it's probably real, but I'm gonna say fake.
could have sworn I remember reading like a headline, like some article about some
That this
gender
is a crime,
swap
it should never
or
happen.
gender barrier or something with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I'm going to say real.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 from 2014, very real.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I was,
If you take a look, the boys'
Sounds
side
odd.
has the coolest shit. It's literally the coolest shit. You look on the girl side, and it is just pink hair ties, a purse with sort of a pinkish spider on it, that kind of thing. It's almost insulting.
Right. It seemed too insulting. That's why I was like, it's got to be fake.
Especially from 2014.
Who would let that
right?
go?
No, for real. From 2014, you think to yourself, well, we're still relatively advanced. I don't think we would do that anymore. No, we did. And for the worst movie of this whole Spider-Man series. That is it. That is all I have. You guys got anything else?
On the lookout for an upcoming video to the Time Pals YouTube channel. I'm going to risk it all. That's your hint.
Oh, very nice.
It's not too on the nose, is it?
No, it's not. So this is _ for the Time Pals, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey everybody, Jobbin from the Time Pals here. Just wanted to give a shout out to my partners over at Legendary Supplements and the Legendary Legion. Their Kraken Intense Focus Blizzard Mojito flavor is something I've been using all week to focus on my work and get it done quickly and efficiently. It is a nice, cool, citrusy blast and provides a nice clean energy that focuses on mental clarity as opposed to physical energy. So no crash, no jitters, and the benefits speak for themselves. I definitely suggest you try it, and we have a code for you to try at checkout. Just punch in Time Pals.